Hello, my beautiful glamour ghouls. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Long time no see. I know it has been a minute since I have been back, but I do want to thank you all for letting me take that time. It was really important for me to just recoup a little bit. And 2020 was a crazy year and there was a lot to unpack, and it was nice to just take a couple weeks and spend time with my family and unpack a little bit everything that has happened in the last 12 months and set new goals. Overall, it was just a needed break. And so I thank you for letting me take that time, and I'm really excited to be back. So as the title of the video suggests, we are going to be starting a new series today that I'm very excited about. If you watched my Christmas home tour, which was the last video I posted, when I showed my bar, I showed this book. And this was given to me by one of my best friends, Anna, for Christmas. And I think, hey, this is just a perfect gift. I don't know how on earth she found such a perfect gift for me, but it is called Mod Cocktails, Modern Takes on Classic Recipes from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Our favorites. She gave this to me with a beautiful vintage style cocktail shaker and some really beautiful mid-mod lowball glasses. It's all just very kitschy and cute and I love it. But when she gave me this book, I thought, wow, this would be so fun to make content out of, because way back, I mean, maybe 2 years ago. So like when I was first getting my start on YouTube, I had an idea that I wanted to do like a tiki cocktail, because I'm a big tiki-phile. I love tiki beverages, and I had really wanted to do like a tiki series over the summer, but because I was getting just started on YouTube and I just wasn't really there yet. And then when I did my 12 Days of Kitschmas last year, a ton of people requested that I do Christmas cocktails, and it ended up being a really fun video to make. I am definitely a ghostess with the mostess. I love to host a party, and I think that I just love a special beverage. I did want to be really cognizant when posting this video because I know a lot of people are observing dry January right now, as well as I know a lot of you are probably sober all the time, which is incredible, and I really respect that. And I want you to still feel like my channel is a safe space and that you don't have to feel pressured in any way to imbibe, to enjoy my content. I just really enjoy celebrating with a special beverage, whether that's a cocktail or a really nice coffee or a smoothie, or, you know, even just like having sparkling grape juice can feel so special and different than just like having a soda. And, you know, we all had a really long year in 2020, and I think we deserve a special beverage to start 2021. So this is going to be our very first installment of
Mod Cocktails with Midge.
So I wanted to challenge myself with this series to not only create these cocktails and expand my knowledge of making craft beverages, but to also come up with non-alcoholic versions of these cocktails so that our sober friends can enjoy as well. And this first one, I think I did a pretty good job. I liked the taste of it. It tasted almost identical to the alcoholic version to me. So the format of this video is I'm gonna introduce the cocktail, give a bit of a history lesson for it, and then we'll jump down into the kitchen and do the alcoholic version first and the NA version second. If you'd like to skip right ahead to the non-alcoholic version of the cocktail, the timestamp for that will be in the description box. So let's dive right in. Gosh, I'm looking at my monitor. That is a lot of pink. The first cocktail I have selected for this series, I picked for a very special reason. First of all being that it's just a very kitschy cocktail. I think this is going to set us up for exactly what this series is. And that cocktail is the Pink Squirrel, which, as you can see, is very, very pink. Hence today's outfit. I'm gonna try to do a themed outfit, a cocktail. We'll see how that goes. But the other reason I selected this one is kind of a personal reason, and we'll get there. Let's dive into the history. So this book calls the Pink Squirrel the grasshopper's underrated little sister, which I loved. That was the first sentence introducing this cocktail, and I was already hooked. Which, if you've never had a grasshopper, it's a dessert drink that is like creme de cacao, creme de menthe, cream, a lot of times made with ice cream. It tastes like a mint chocolate chip ice cream, and it's really sweet and minty, and it's, you know, definitely not like a heavy on the alcohol drink at all, but it is really, really tasty. And I found out through this book and more research that those types of drinks, including the Pink Squirrel and one more that I learned about called the Brandy Alexander, are all part of kind of a category that is known as supper club cocktails. Now, if you're not from the Midwest and you don't know what a supper club is, supper clubs are kind of social club restaurant hybrids that presented themselves as being kind of high class, but were really affordable. And people would go there to have dinner, but really it was a place for people to go socialize and drink a lot of the time. Now, even though I am technically from the Midwest, being from Kansas City, I had never personally been to a supper club or heard of one until I worked with some people. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I worked with a gentleman who was from the northern Midwest who told me about them, and I kind of started having that information in my sphere. But this is where this particular recipe caught my eye. Invented at Bryant's Cocktail Lounge in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the 1950s, this cocktail enjoyed a few decades of kitschy popularity before falling into obscurity. So this was where this caught my attention, because the gentleman that I worked with that told me about supper clubs was from Milwaukee, and he also mentioned to me that there was a place in Milwaukee called Bryant's Cocktail Lounge that I would love. And then later I became friends with Penny Snark, which if you do not follow her on Instagram, I'm gonna drop her tag here. If you love me, you will love Penny. She is a spooky queen. She's super retro. She's tons of fun, great style. We actually did a collaboration on Instagram this week, so go check that out. But Penny and I have become fast internet friends, and she also has told me a ton about Bryant's, and it's a place I really want to visit when I can someday travel again post-COVID. And so when I saw that this cocktail originated at Bryant's, I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I have to start with this one, especially since I had just been working on this Instagram collaboration with Penny this week. So Penny, if you're watching, girl, this one's for you. Now, something that's kind of interesting and also kind of offensive about these supper club cocktails, these more desserty sweet drinks, is that a lot of them, including the Pink Squirrel, were originally made with ice cream. And they have no like true liquor in them. They have flavored liqueurs. They're not like, you're not putting rum, vodka, gin, anything like that into these beverages. And the reason for that being that these were cocktails made for women. It was considered improper for women to be drinking any kind of hard liquor at that time period in public, especially at these places that were kind of broadcasting themselves as like high class establishments. So, like most things from the 50s and 60s, this drink is a little bit sexist. But, you know, we have to be able to laugh at it, right? And it is pretty tasty. So let's take a look at the types of ingredients that we will need to make a Pink Squirrel.
First thing you're going to need is creme de noyeau, which is this pink liqueur, then creme de cacao, some heavy whipping cream or half and half, depending on your preference, some dark cherries, a cocktail shaker full of ice, a coupe glass for serving, and some swizzle sticks here for garnish. You're going to start with your empty cocktail shaker full of ice and add an ounce of the creme de noyeau. This is what gives the Pink Squirrel its pink coloring, and it's kind of like an amaretto. It is nutty, but it also is made with the pits of apricots and cherries, so it has a fruitiness to it as well. Then you're going to add 1 ounce of the creme de cacao for some good chocolatiness. Then you're going to add your heavy whipping cream, about 1 ounce. I actually go a little bit over 1 ounce just to give it some extra creaminess and to brighten up the pink color just a little bit. And then you're going to get your cocktail shaker top on nice and tight and give it a good shake. You'll start to see it turn that really pretty pink color almost instantly. Have a little fun with your shaking while you're listening to some good tunes. You can see it's really pretty color. It kind of looks like Pepto-Bismol a little bit, but I promise it tastes good. Then you're going to strain that into your coupe glass or glass of your choice. And it, again, looks a little Pepto-y, but, you know, what are you gonna do? It should be really thick and creamy. Then add 2 cherries for garnish, and there you have it, the Pink Squirrel. So now we're going to make our NA version using coffee syrup, starting with this almond roca, a chocolate coffee syrup, your heavy whipping cream, the cherries in syrup, a shaker full of ice, a coupe glass, and again, the swizzle sticks for garnish. So I decided to use these coffee syrups to get the same flavor as the liqueurs, starting with this almond roca. If you can find an amaretto syrup, that would definitely be preferable. This was not my favorite, but it did get that general flavor across. Then you're going to add your chocolate syrup, which also, in retrospect, if I could have found a white chocolate syrup, that would have been the way to go so that the brown wasn't coloring this so much. Then to get that pinkness, I used the syrup from the dark cherries, and that's what's going to kind of give us that noyau flavor and color to this drink. Then you add, once again, the heavy cream. And then we're just going to do the same thing. Pop that top on, start dancing and shaking. You can see it turning pink once again, matches my dress really nicely. And then you're going to just strain that into your coupe glass once again. This did turn out a little bit lighter than the other, but it's still a very pretty pink color. And then garnish with cherries, and there you have it, the non-alcoholic.
All right, folks, well, there you have it, the Pink Squirrel. Overall, I like this cocktail a lot. It has a lot of layers from the fruitiness with the apricot and cherry pits in the creme de noyau, but it also has that nuttiness, it's got a chocolatiness, and no one flavor is canceling each other out. So it's just really balanced, and even though it's sweet, I definitely couldn't have like more than one of them, I don't think, but it is really pleasant on the palate. It's not overly sweet because of all the different flavors that are happening. I think the NA version tasted really good as well, almost identical to this. The only thing I would say is if you can find an amaretto syrup, rather than that almond roca, I would highly suggest that to get more of that nuttiness, because since you're using the real cherry juice in that, it gets heavy on the cherry flavor. But other than that, it was a really nice drink, and I didn't feel like I was missing anything from it because it still had that tartness and the creaminess and layers of flavor that this cocktail has. I really enjoyed making this video and this cocktail that is the same color as my wall. I hope you all enjoyed watching it. If you did, give it a like and comment down below if you try this recipe, either version, and let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you not? Would you order it out at the supper club in Milwaukee? And be sure to let me know which cocktails you would like me to try next. Before you leave today, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every Monday, and we have lots of spooky, kitschy, vintage fun over here, and I would love to have you as part of our Glamour Ghoul gang. Also, like I mentioned previously, do go check out Penny over on Instagram at PennySnark. If you like me, you are going to love her, and I would highly, highly recommend giving her a follow, as well as checking out her blog, which is called The Scone Sling. It's a play on another cocktail, the Singapore Sling, a very famous tiki cocktail. But Scone because she's from Wisconsin. It's a really fun, well-written blog full of spooky, kitschy, geeky, retro, fun, just great content, and I will link it in the description below. Definitely go give that a follow as well. Like I said, her and I did an Instagram collaboration this week where we flipped styles, and that was super fun. We also did a really fun Beetlejuice collaboration, maybe April of 2020, so scroll through the feeds and see if you can find those photos because they're a lot of fun as well. And if you're in the Milwaukee area, try out Bryant's Cocktail Lounge. I cannot wait until I can go there once COVID has left the building. I am so excited to be able to travel again and try new restaurants and bars and go to concerts and do things. Here is to a much brighter 2021. Thank you all so much for being along for the ride with me, and until next time, keep it campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. Cheers!
When ghosts come out to social.